everyone, so today's video is going to be my October wrap-up. Now, before I get into my October wrap-up, I just want to say that I'm really not feeling well today, but I already prepared to film today, so I decided to go through with it because otherwise all my preparation was for nothing. So yeah, I'm still filming today, but I really don't feel well, so if you can tell by the way that I'm acting, please just ignore it. I'm sorry if you can tell. I'm gonna try and hide it throughout the video because I don't want to spend the entire video complaining about how bad I'm feeling. So yeah, I'm again sorry if you can see that I'm in pain or not feeling well. I'm gonna try and hide it as best as I can. But let's now actually get into the video, which is my October wrap-up. Now, in October, I read 12 books, and I actually managed to read 2 audiobooks, which, if you've watched my previous wrap-ups, you know that for a while I just couldn't read audiobooks because I just wasn't feeling it. But I finally managed to listen to a couple audiobooks again, which I'm very excited about because that hopefully means that in November and December I will actually be able to read more than 12 books, which is the amount that I read in October. So yeah, let's now actually get into the books. So the first book that I read in October was The Silent Patient. Now, I was quite excited for this book because I heard a lot of good things about it. And because I never really read thrillers, which is what this is. This is a thriller, so I was excited for this book, but sadly enough it was quite predictable, which was kind of unexpected because, again, I never read thrillers, so I thought I would be blown away because, I don't really know what tropes thrillers go through. So if you read a lot of thrillers, I feel like you would know what was going to happen in this book, but even me, someone who never really reads thrillers, knew what was going to happen. So yeah, it was quite predictable, but not fully predictable, I guess. There was an unexpected plot twist, but the plot twist to me felt very underwhelming, which that's not what a plot twist is supposed to do. So yeah, it was a bit underwhelming and I expected more from this book, but yeah, I gave it 3 stars. And I'm not saying you shouldn't read it because it is still a decent thriller, I think. Again, I never read thrillers, so I don't know fully. But yeah, it was a bit underwhelming. Let's get on to the next book. So the next book was actually kind of the opposite of underwhelming. I was actually taken aback by how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So the book that I'm talking about is Most Likely. Now, I didn't expect a lot from this book because I haven't seen anyone talk about it. So I didn't have super high expectations. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. It was a very fast read, which I didn't expect that because it is decently big. And I was in a bit of a reading slump. But yeah, it was actually quite a fast read. I enjoyed it. The premise of this book is also which out of these 4 girls is most likely to become president in the future. And so the whole book you're kind of guessing who's gonna be the president. And I liked that until the very end it left you guessing. I was 90% sure that I knew who was gonna be the future president, and I was wrong. So yeah, I liked that it left me guessing until the very end. There was also some unexpected disability representation, which I appreciated. However, I might be wrong on this because my memory is quite bad, but I think throughout this whole book, they never used identity first language. It was always person first language, which if you don't know what the difference is between that, I might put up a picture if I can find one that explains it. A lot of disabled people, not everyone, but a lot of disabled people prefer identity first language, and it's mainly able people that use person first language for disabled people. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and identity first language was used in this book, but all I remember is seeing person first language multiple times. So meaning person first language referring to person with a disability, instead of like identity first language, which is disabled person. And a lot of disabled people prefer like being called disabled people, right? Like you can hear from like me saying that as a disabled person. Obviously not every single disabled person like prefers identity first language, but a lot of us do. And I don't know, like it made me feel a bit weird that they only used person first language. Again, I might be wrong, and maybe there's like one instance where they did use it, but yeah, like I said, I did quite enjoy this book. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars, I think, so yeah, it was actually quite good. Then next I read a manga, and it was called Restart After Coming Back Home. There is a like movie about this manga, and I still don't know, even though it's been a couple weeks since I read this, which one I prefer more, the manga or the movie. I think it's the movie, but the manga had really beautiful art, so like I still don't know which one I prefer, but I liked both of them quite a lot. But yeah, like I said, I really liked the art style of the manga, especially Mitsumi, I think he's called. I might have completely mispronounced his name, but yeah, especially like one of the characters, like he's really beautifully drawn. And yeah, I really like the art style. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. But yeah, I still don't know which one I prefer, the manga or the like movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Then next I read The Beauty That Remains. Now this book is very sad, like it has a very sad concept. So I was expecting to cry. I did cry. I feel like if I had different experiences in life, I would have probably cried more. And maybe if I reread it in the future, I will cry more. But yeah, this is a very sad book. It deals a lot with like grief and like debt in the family. So yeah, if you want to read it, go read it. But it is very sad. I think I gave it 4 stars. And like I said, it was quite a difficult read for me because of some things just hitting like a little bit too close to home. But yeah, I'm still very glad that I read it and I finished it. It was quite difficult, which is why it took me so long to get through it, even though it's not even that big. But yeah, I am glad that I read it, and I will maybe reread it someday if, again, like my life experiences change. You know, I might need a book like this to like comfort me in a way. So yeah, I do recommend it, but again, it deals with very heavy topics, so you know, research the book before you actually buy it. Then next I read the 2nd volume of Cassay-san. Now, I mentioned this in my September wrap-up, I think, that I reread the 1st volume, and I really wanted to reread the 2nd volume when I was like filming that wrap-up, and I ended up rereading it right after I made that wrap-up video. And again, I did still really enjoy it. I do still want to like buy the physical manga one day if it stops being like so expensive. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. I can't remember, but yeah, it was nice to reread this. Then the next book that I read, or rather listened to, was an audiobook, and it was called Who K-pop BTS, I think that's what it's called. But basically, it's like an informational book about BTS, and I read this for a video that I'm planning to make sometime soon. I don't know when I'm gonna make it, but I'm basically gonna like read a couple of like books with like information about BTS and basically like rank them, like how good are they and how good is the information. Because a lot of people, especially like BTS fans, like we know that like those informational books, they can be very hit or miss. Like sometimes there's a lot of misinformation in it. I'm currently reading like another informational book about BTS, and that one has quite a lot of misinformation already on like the first 5 pages. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to read that one. But yeah, this one wasn't too bad on the misinformation. I'm gonna go more into that in the video, obviously, that I'm gonna make about it. But yeah, the the main thing that I have to say about it that really stood out to me was how cringy the voice acting was. Like, I was listening to it and like clenching my fists because it was just so cringy. I don't know, like they just put on these voices and no, I don't like it. I really don't. No. Just no. But yeah, I'll go more in detail about that book in like the video that I'm gonna make, so look forward to that, I guess. Then the next audiobook that I read, and also the last audiobook that I read in October, because I'm still like getting into audiobooks and like getting used to them. That audiobook was Brokeback Mountain. I have wanted to read or well listen to this book for like years now, ever since I like watched the very popular movie. And as a lot of people often say, like the book for once is like not as good as the movie, which is again not something that happens very often. But yeah, in this case the book is less good than the movie. I do want to rewatch the movie someday, but I feel like I'm gonna cry too much. So yeah. Also, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but I feel like maybe I don't remember the movie correctly, but I feel like something about the ending of the book was different in the movie. Again, maybe it's just me not remembering the movie correctly, but I feel like something was different. But yeah, I did still quite like listening to it. I gave it 3 stars just because, again, I feel like the movie was better, but I did still quite like it. So yeah. Then next I read another manga, and it was called Cupid is Struck by Lightning. This is like by the same author as like a couple other mangas. I think one of them is called like Golden Sparkle. I can't remember what the other one was called. But yeah, I enjoyed those 2 other ones more than this one. I don't know why. I think because for this one I didn't really understand the pacing, but I did still quite like it. And one thing that I really like about this author is like how nice the art style is. Like that's one of the main things that I really like about these stories, is like the art style is really nice. So yeah, I don't remember exactly how many stars I gave this, probably like 3.5 maybe. But yeah, I like the other stories more, but I did still quite like it, again mainly because of the art style. Then next I reread Path to You, which I actually liked it more this time around. I don't remember how much I liked it the first time around, but I'm pretty sure I liked it more this time that I read it. I gave it 4 stars. The art, once again, really pretty. I really like the colors of it, especially like with the cover, you can already kind of tell what colors I mean. Like they're very like beautiful, like autumnal colors. I really like the story and how there isn't much miscommunication, because I really don't like miscommunication. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed it more this time around, and I now kind of want like a physical copy because it's so pretty looking, but that's probably not gonna happen. So yeah, let's get into the next book. So the next book that I read is another manga, and it's this one. I cannot find like the English translation for the title, and I don't want to like butcher the Japanese title, so this is what it looks like. Yeah, this was a lot more like steamy than I expected. I was expecting it to be like very cute because of the like whole concept of the manga, but yeah, it was more steamy than I expected. I was not ready for that. But the only reason basically that I read this was because there is a fan fiction based on this manga, and I wanted to read the fan fiction, and then I saw that there was a manga, and so I thought, well, at least the manga will count towards my Goodreads goal, so might as well read the manga. And then I completely forgot to read the fan fiction, so yeah, I might do that after this video is over, or I might just lay in bed and die, because I feel like I'm gonna die from how warm I am. So yeah. Also, before I get into the next book, I gave this 3 stars because again, I expected it to be more cute, and it was a lot steamier than I expected. So the next book is a book that I reread for like the 4th time, I think, and that is A Monster Calls. Now, I feel like for some strange reason, whenever I reread this book, I cry harder than the last time. When I reread this time, I cried so hard I gave myself a headache. And then I woke up the next day feeling absolutely terrible. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna reread this book in the future because I feel like I'll die next time that I reread it from crying so hard. I don't know why it's happening, like me crying harder every single time I reread it. But yeah, for some reason I do. But yeah, this is a 5-star, obviously. It's a reread. I really like this book. It's like a middle grade, so it's like for children. I don't know which child is gonna read this, but good luck to them, I guess. But yeah, it is a very good book, and I have the illustrated version, so maybe that's why I cry so hard every single time. I don't know. So the last book that I read in October was a book that I also bought in October, so you can tell by that how excited I was to read it. And that book is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I was really excited to read this book because it has disability representation. It specifically has chronic pain representation and representation for this. I can't pronounce this word in English, so yeah, this word, which I don't know if I actually have that condition, but I do have a lot of chronic pain, so I really appreciated the representation in this book. It made me feel very seen, and I was actually someone that deserved to have a love story in a book especially. So yeah, I really appreciated the disability rep. I really liked the story itself as well. I really liked the main couple's communication and how well they communicated things. Even if there was some miscommunication, I feel like they solved it really well. I was really surprised by that because I saw someone say, right as I was reading this book, I saw someone say that the last conflict in this book was really unnecessary and just there to make the book longer. And then I actually read the last conflict and I was like, yeah, no, that's a genuine conflict that I feel should have been addressed. And they did address it, and they addressed it very well, and they solved it very well, and I was very happy about that. Because I feel sometimes when I read miscommunication in books, I'm just why did you solve it like that? Why? And I feel this book solved it very well because the characters are very in tune to each other's feelings almost. And yeah, I really appreciated that. I really liked this book. I gave it 4.75 stars. I didn't give it 5 stars just because the steamy scenes in it were really, really steamy, and I knew that because I saw people talking about it. But still, I really struggled reading my way through it, but that's on me, that's not on the author. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Like I already said, I'm looking forward to reading the other books. There's 2 more of these books, and I do own the second one. So I am gonna read that this month in November, which I'm really excited for. So yeah, one of the other things about this book is that this book is gonna be one of my examples for the way I want my book to turn out. The way that, again, the miscommunication was handled, and the way the characters are together, and the way the chronic pain is handled as well. I want to write like that in my book. So yeah, I really like this book, even though it's not 5 stars. It is 5 stars in my mind, but just because of the steamy scenes, a bit less. So yeah, I highly recommend it. So yeah, that was the end of the wrap up. I'm really glad with all of the books that I read, and I'm glad I still managed to read 12 things. I'm also glad this video is over because I'm really not feeling well, like I already said in the beginning, and I'm also really warm, and I still need to film another video after this, and I honestly don't know how I'm gonna do that, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to try, I guess. I'm not gonna be able to wear the outfit that I wanted to wear. That includes like a full sweater instead of just like a vest. And I'm already dying in this, so I can't imagine what a sweater is gonna be like. So I'm gonna have to figure out another outfit to wear within the next like 5 minutes. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you had a good reading month in October, even though my reading month was not that good. It was still pretty decent. So I hope you guys had a good reading month. I hope you have a good reading month in November. And thank you for watching, and bye.